We trust them to protect us and our kids from some of the world's most dangerous diseases. But how can we be so sure that vaccines are safe? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the incredible global safety system that's been built to answer that exact question.
You know, this isn't just a simple science question. It's really a question of trust, and it's one that affects every single family on the planet. And the answer is built on a system that has to be just about perfect, because, well, the stakes couldn't be any higher. Take a look at this number, 2.5 million. Now, this isn't some abstract statistic about money or data. This number represents human lives, specifically the lives of children.
That's right. Vaccines prevent 2.5 million child deaths every single year. So when we talk about public trust, it's not just some nice idea. It is the absolute bedrock that makes this incredible, life-saving achievement possible. So to really get why this all matters so much, let's just take a quick step back and look at the world that vaccines have helped create.
I mean, this quote from the World Health Organization really says it all. Other than having clean, safe drinking water, nothing else in the entire history of humanity has saved more lives than vaccination. Think about that. Not even antibiotics. It's just staggering. And what's really amazing is just how fast this all happened. After that first smallpox vaccine way back in 1798, the 20th century was just an explosion of innovation. We got vaccines for diphtheria, for polio, for measles, all the way up to the HPV vaccine in 2006, which actually prevents cancer. Every single one of these dates on this timeline is a major victory for all of us.
Okay, so how does this amazing technology actually work? Well, the short version is that it's basically a boot camp for your body's own personal army, your immune system.
And the main recruit here is something called an antigen. The best way to think of it is like a fingerprint for a specific germ. It's this unique little molecule that lets your immune system instantly recognize it and go, whoa, hold on, you're not from around here.
So the first time your body ever meets a new antigen, its response is kind of slow, a little bit cautious. But during that first meeting, it does something absolutely brilliant. It creates these elite soldiers called memory cells. And because of these cells, the next time that same germ tries to invade, the response isn't slow at all. It is immediate, it's powerful, and it usually wipes out the threat before you even feel a sniffle.
So this really leaves us with two very different ways to become immune. Path number one, you get the actual infection, and you have to suffer through the entire disease, risking all of its awful, sometimes deadly complications. Or, path number two, you get a vaccine. It safely shows that antigen to your immune system, creates those exact same memory cells, but does it all without you ever getting sick. It's all of the training with none of the battle.
And over the years, scientists have gotten really clever, developing several different blueprints for building these little immune system trainers.
There are 4 main strategies. You can use what's called a live attenuated or weakened version of the germ. It's still alive, but it's way too weak to make you sick. Or you can use an inactivated version, which is just the killed germ. There are also more targeted approaches, like subunit vaccines, which only use a tiny specific piece of the germ, just the antigen. And for diseases like tetanus, toxoid vaccines actually train your body to fight the poison the bacteria makes, not the bacteria itself. Each one is just a different tool for a different job.
Okay, but what happens when things don't go perfectly? This brings us to a really critical topic, adverse events. And understanding what this term really means is the key to trusting the whole system.
So you hear this term thrown around a lot, adverse event. But what does it actually mean? Well, the official definition is super important because it's designed to cast a really, really wide net.
All right, the most important part of this whole definition is right at the end. An AFFI is any medical issue that happens after a shot, but, and this is the key, it does not necessarily have a causal relationship. It's all about timing, not cause. To figure out the actual cause, every single reported event gets sorted into one of 5 categories. So first up, you've got a true vaccine product-related reaction. This is basically your immune system just doing what it's supposed to do. It's reacting to the vaccine. Things like a sore arm or a low-grade fever, that's this category. It's a good sign that training is working.
Second is a vaccine quality defect. Now, this is extremely rare. It happens if there's an issue with one specific batch during manufacturing. So this isn't a problem with the vaccine's design, it's a problem on the factory line. And it's exactly why quality control is so incredibly strict.
Third, you have an immunization error. This is just plain old human error, a preventable mistake that happens during handling or when the shot is given, maybe using the wrong needle size or something like that. It's not the vaccine's fault, it's a breakdown in the procedure.
Number 4 is something I think a lot of us can relate to: immunization anxiety. Here, the reaction isn't caused by anything in the syringe, but by the fear of the shot itself. You know, the classic example is somebody fainting just at the sight of a needle. And finally, we have the most common category of all: coincidental events. Just think about it for a second. Millions of people get vaccinated every single day. And every day, people also get headaches, they catch a cold, they have all sorts of minor health issues. It is a statistical certainty that these things are going to overlap sometimes. This is pure coincidence. It's correlation, not causation.
So the big question is, how on earth do experts track all of this and tell these 5 categories apart? Well, that is the job of the global safety net. This system really has 2 major parts. First, before a vaccine is ever even approved, it goes through massive trials with thousands and thousands of volunteers to make sure it's safe. But it doesn't end there. After it's released to the public, a continuous surveillance system kicks in, monitoring millions of people in the real world. This is designed to catch even the absolute rarest of side effects.
And here is a perfect real-world example of that safety net in action. Back in 1999, a new rotavirus vaccine was released. That post-release monitoring system quickly picked up on a very rare risk. It affected about 1 in 10,000 infants that was simply too rare to have ever been spotted in the initial trials. The vaccine was immediately pulled from the market. Now, this wasn't a failure of the system. It was proof that the system works exactly as it should.
And all of this incredible data from all of these systems lets us do the single most important thing: accurately weigh the benefits against the risks.
Let's just make this real by looking at measles. Your risk of getting encephalitis, that's a dangerous swelling of the brain, from the measles disease is about 1 in every 2,000 cases. Your risk from the vaccine? 1 in a million. The risk of getting pneumonia or even dying from the measles infection is tragically common. From the vaccine, it's 0. I mean, when you just lay the numbers out side by side like this, the choice isn't just clear, it's overwhelming.
And this brings us to what might be the biggest challenge of all. Vaccines have been so successful that they've made the very diseases they prevent seem like a distant memory. So the real question for all of us now is, how do we make sure we don't forget the danger of these diseases, that we appreciate the safety systems that protect us, and that we pass this incredible life-saving legacy on to the next generation?